This election, you're likely to hear one word tossed about quite a bit, and that word is socialism. Sorry about that. It's highly unlikely that any new government in the US would ever become socialist, but it's being used deliberately as a political polarizer to make you vote one way or another. So what is it? Well, let's get virtual and socialize ourselves.
Socialism is an economic and political theory, just like capitalism or communism. First, some fun definitions.
Hey, wake up! I'll be quick.
Capitalism is about the free market, freedom of choice, and the battle of the products. The best one hopefully wins, but not everyone gets rich or starts with the same amount of money or pays their fair share of taxes. There's still poverty and unemployment and greed. Therefore, it's clearly not a perfect system. It's wobbly, a bit unstable, which is why we get market crashes, boom and bust. What about communism then? Look, I'm simplifying this hugely, but it was designed to stop worker exploitation along with the greed and inequality of capitalism. Here, private property doesn't exist. Nearly everything is communally owned and everyone gets a slice of what they need, if it's run fairly, which it never seems to be, because it leads to abuse by people at the top who like money, cars, wealth, luxury, and being able to eat. So it's not a perfect system. It's also pretty boring. Remember how the Russians lost their minds when McDonald's showed up? Then there's socialism, sort of a grey area between capitalism and communism. Basically a democratic state striving for equality and controlling the resources and the way things are produced and distributing that prosperity, i.e. the cash, so that everyone can benefit. Well, sort of. Meaning less poverty but also less individual wealth and more restrictions, which can scare those with a lot of money. So it's not a perfect system. But politicians like Bernie Sanders and Kamala Harris aren't suggesting we do this anyway. They're just talking about increasing the funding for things like higher education or creating universal healthcare or a base income, which is not the same thing as turning Americans into socialists.
What they're talking about is more a sort of democratic capitalism, which appeared after the Second World War to help stop homelessness, poverty, and zero access to medical care, the same conditions that this pandemic is creating right now. Thus, democratic socialists stroke capitalists help create the things we know and love, especially when we get older, like Social Security, Medicare, and horror of horrors in Europe, free education and free healthcare, of which, unbelievably, I am a product. Cool.
At which point you realise that socialism is just a term being hijacked to scare voters, and some of the most successful economies in the world operate on the democratic socialist, democratic capitalist model. Which ones? The United States. What? We're already one? Yes, well, kind of. With a few tweaks, we could be more like the UK, France, Spain, Germany, the Netherlands, pretty much all of Western Europe. In fact, all the places Americans visit the most pre-COVID and remark, "Wow, what a great place! If only I had the money, I'd live here!" So, the next time you hear the word socialism bandied around like a weapon, remember that the truth is it's just political rhetoric, words to get you fired up and vote a certain way. But now you know the truth, because knowledge is the real power in this world, and if we all had a tiny bit more of it, we might just be able to see things a lot more clearly, and not get so easily triggered.